Caution: this game contains scenes of violence and gore, as well as depictions of criminal acts. These acts are strictly punished by law. Please do not attempt to imitate them. This game also contains themes of sexual violence and self-harm. This game is a work of fiction. Any relationship to real persons, groups, places, or crimes is coincidental. Nanami Nishijo held the D-sword she created from her blood tight to her body, only using her left hand. Her right hand just hung alongside it. The blood dripping from the bandage was running down the small groove in the blade before falling to the ground. Did you know? Did you know Nana was a gigalomaniac? Rimi's question was directed at Norose, who'd been watching the events unfold silently. No matter how much hate was in her gaze, he seemed completely uninterested. It was pure coincidence. After all the horrible things you did to her, what can you call it a coincidence? It wasn't nearly as difficult as it was with you. My company had a procedure for the awakening process now. Sadly, the procedure failed to work on Takumi Nishijo. He's a monster, and irregularly, and thus difficult to work with. Don't call him a monster. Why? Because you're a monster too? That's not what I meant. A creature born of the void, then. Perhaps that's more to your liking. Rimi looked away, biting her lip in frustration. She was still shaky. She had to save Nanami, but her legs wouldn't move, like they were rooted to the floor. Norose, however, seemed completely unfazed. He gave Nanami's head a loving pat. Nanami didn't react. Her head was slumped, and she was taking one shallow breath after another. Imagine a spotlight lighting up a single point in a great field of darkness. Surrounding the spotlight are piles and piles of dead bodies, but no one can see them, not even you yourself. Stop it. Let's say you killed yourself. The spotlight would move a few dozen centimeters to the right, and you yourself would be covered by the darkness. And then someone else, someone completely ignorant, would find themselves in the spotlight. Stop it! Norose shrugged and fell silent. It hurts. I want you to let Nana go. I already have. I'm taking her and I'm going. You're welcome to. We're finished with her ass. Nana, let's go home, okay? Make that sword disappear. Then give me back my bangle. I will. Rimi knew where Nanami's hand was kept. On that day, on the night when Nanami's right hand had been delivered to Takumi's room, the night when Takumi had been humiliated on the roof of Allfront, Rimi had taken the hand from his fridge. Shogun had it now. It was being kept cold so that it wouldn't rot. The bangle was there too. My brother gave it to me. It belongs to me. How could you steal it like that? Nanami's voice was getting more and more violent. Calm down and take a deep breath. Get a hold of yourself. Let me ask you a question. Norose suddenly interrupted them. In her mind, Rimi grimaced. Which one of you is more important to Takumi Nishijo? Rimi looked down. Rimi, you? Nanami looked up. Light had returned to her empty eyes. They were abnormally bright. Rimi quickly brought up her sword, but froze inside the sudden darkness. The lights had been cut. Whether it was an accident or deliberate, Rimi couldn't tell. Don't let it beat you, Rimi whispered to herself. Her voice made the air vibrate, but quickly melted away inside the darkness. She realized she couldn't hear the awful rumbling coming from Noah 2 anymore either. She didn't like the dark. It brought back memories. Remy looked around her. There was darkness everywhere. Not a trace of light was to be found. Could she not see because it was dark? Or could she not see because her vision wasn't working? She couldn't tell which way was up and which way was down. She didn't even know where she was. Darkness worked its way inside all her senses. She couldn't even sense her own body anymore. It was like her body had transformed into a gas, like her mind was leaking from its vessel. Past and present melted together, and Remy's memories began to mix with one another. When was it now? When was the past? A single ray of light shone down into the perfect darkness, and in the center of the circular spotlight she saw herself, crouching on the ground with her arms wrapped around her knees. Remy stared at herself from within the darkness. It was just like back then. Back then. Remy had nothing. She woke up one day to find herself locked up, tortured. The psychological pain was worse than the physical. Every day was hell, and every day all she could do was endure. Remy didn't know where she'd been before that. Where had she been imprisoned here? How? How long had they been torturing her? Remy didn't know. Somehow it didn't feel like amnesia to her. It felt like she'd only begun to exist the moment she'd woke up here. Maybe the personality which had inhabited this body before had killed itself in the delusion to escape from the pain. Maybe the current Remy was born to take its place. Maybe there had been many different personalities before her. Maybe the name Remy Sakihara was one that changed with each new personality. There was no true me inside. Something moved within the darkness. Remy stood up slowly and approached it. When she moved, the spotlight went with her. And then she saw what it was. It was Remy, lying on the ground, dead. Remy whispered, taking care not to look at Remy as she spoke.
あなたは
What number are
何
you?
番目私は
I'm... Ooh, I don't like this shit one bit. I just seen where her arm is missing from. Remy's eyes began to twitch violently. Tears flowed from the corners of her eyes. The D-sword slipped from her hand. She dropped to her knees where she stood. Like a child, she covered her face with her hands, shaking her head weakly. I'm sorry. I couldn't take it. Nanami watched expressionlessly. Inorase gave a small, bored snort. There was nothing left of Nanami. She disappeared right in front of me. She hadn't even been real.
どこだよ。出てきてよ。いるんだろ。また、いたずらか。隠れてるんだ。やめろよ。
The tears made it hard for me to see. I wiped them away, but they just kept coming. Hot little drops of water. But even their heat, and even the emotions that were making me weep, were delusions. Because I myself was a delusion. Nanami was a delusion too. I was an idiot to get my hopes up. They'd been mercilessly dashed.
で、いつ、この妄想って冷めるの。早く冷めてよ。
I didn't even know who I was talking to. But I wanted someone, anyone to hear me.
この妄想が冷めたら、僕が本当はイケメンなんだ。そうに決まってる。物分かりのいい妹とや しい姉がいるんだ。かわいい彼女と付き合ってて、その子がリミとかセナみたいな電波女じゃなくて、セーラさんみたいないい子なんだ。
あなたは妄想の存在なんだよ。
I fell to the ground, burying my head in a pile of garbage, and clutched Zenaton tightly. I slammed my fist into the door, trying as hard as I could to avert my eyes from reality. But I couldn't. Rimi's words kept echoing in my head again and again.
死にたい。死にたいよ。どうして誰も僕を殺してくれないんだ。ねえ、セーラさん、殺して、僕を殺して。
そんなに死にたいの？
Do you want to die that badly?
死にたい。こんなのもう嫌だ。自分の存在が嫌だ。何も考えたくない。生きていたくない。
かわいそうなタッキー。
Poor Taki.
だったら
I'll tell you about a way you can die really fast. Wow. Thank you, my wife, Sedaton. Sedaton was always there to help me.
とりあえず外に出るんさ。
You can start by going outside.
外に
I stood up as I was told. I almost tripped over the garbage on the floor several times, but I managed to make it outside. I didn't have the slightest doubt about what I was being told. Sedaton was the one person who would never betray me. She was my wife. She wasn't real. When I got outside, I heard a strange sound. It felt like I heard it somewhere before.
この音を追いかけて。
Follow the sound.
追いかけたら殺してもらえるの。
そういうこと。
優しく殺してもらえるかな。
私が保証するよ。
よかった。やっと死ねる。
The sound was my savior. It was a bell of salvation leading me to a land of peace. I followed the sound, with its Sedaton still in my hand. It kept getting closer, and then farther away, as if it was leading me somewhere. Whenever I got close to it, it would suddenly get further away. Whenever I felt like I would lose it, it would get closer and wait for me, as if it had a will of its own. A sound with a will of its own. It reminded me of Shogun. For a moment I saw his face, but then I stopped caring. It didn't matter if it was him behind this or not. If someone wanted to kill me, I'd happily let them. I'd even stopped trying to figure out what the source of this sound might be. I was going to die soon anyways, and since I didn't exist, there was no point in thinking about it. I let my mind become blank and staggered toward the source of the sound almost subconsciously, like a moth to a flame. The area around me started getting more and more noisy. I stopped being able to hear the sound. I grimaced and tried to find the source of all the noise, and then I froze. At some point, I'd arrived in the middle of Scrambled Crossing. The noise was from the huge crowds gathering in the square. It was so cramped that I could barely move. Everyone pushed up against each other like the train on rush hour. There were even more people here. than there I'd been when I'd been up atop O'Front. I just remembered Grim saying something about this. Something about a big event in Scramble Crossing tonight. Seto, what's going on here? I only have bad memories of this place. Why had she brought me here?
リベンジってこと。
This is your second shot. Where's the person who's going to kill
目
me?
の前にいるっしょ。
Right in front of you, duh!
目の
Right
前
in front of me. The crowd was gigantic. It was a cold autumn night. Why would all these people be so packed here tightly in the square? And then the crowd in front of me parted, like Moses parting the sea in the Bible. A single road beckoning me forward. They'd been waiting for someone. Me. It was the first annual Let's Lynch the Fake Psychic Takumi Nishijo while we all screamed whose eyes are those party. In Shibuya. That incredibly long title came into my head and I laughed. I didn't want any pain, but if I could die here, I was willing to put up with it.
僕が死ぬにはぴったりの祭りじゃないか。
I understood what Sedaton meant by a second chance. I hadn't been able to die last time, so now she'd given me another chance. I began to work my way through the crowd, an idiot's smile forming on my mouth. I found myself at the place where rows and rows of reporters were lined up with cameras and microphones. The media seemed on edge, just like the rest of the crowd. There was a lot of noise, but nobody seemed to be having fun. There was none of the joy and excitement that they'd shown when I embarrassed myself at O'Front. They were all staring at me. Their eyes were cold and sharp. There was something akin to murder in their gaze. My hopes grew even higher. Kill me. Kill me. Kill me! I looked up to see 4 of the big TVs in the crossing were showing me walking through the crowd. It was being broadcast all around Japan, too. I was sure. If 40% of the country was watching it, that meant 48 million people would be there to watch me die. I'm not even real and you want to watch me die. I'm totally worthless, and you want to watch me die. You really want to watch me die. You're a bunch of idiots. But that's fine with me. Watch all you want, as long as you kill me. I stood in front of the camera lines and microphones. All the flashes of the camera went off at once. Dazzling lights flashed and disappeared. I squinted in the brightness. An older male reporter I recognized from television was the first to speak. Nishijo, what kind of performance do you have for us today? Also, they're saying that the suspect arrested in the Crucified killing was only following given orders by him someone else. What are your thoughts on this? Why was this guy being friendly? What did he mean? What are my thoughts on this? What was that supposed to mean? Was he asking my opinion? To be fair, whenever they asked famous criminologists on TV for his opinion, he would always say the same boring things. It wouldn't be too hard to do a better job than that. But I didn't care. I'd stopped caring about Nugent entirely. I'd come here to have somebody kill me, not to answer questions from reporters. I didn't even have the strength left to do it if I wanted to. So, Nishijo, let me ask you this. They're calling the real killer. Whose eyes are those? And they're saying you're the only person that could possibly be. Yeah, maybe. My whisper was picked up by the microphones and sent all throughout Shibuya by the big TVs. A murmur arose from the crowd. It was starting to become even more murderous. Just kill me. I want to be free. Don't make me put up with this bullshit. But the microphones got even closer. They were pushing right up against my mouth. Like a bursting dam, the other reporters just began to shower me with questions. Can we take that as an admission of your involvement? Have you found yourself unable to tell the difference between reality and a video game? Tell us about the relationship between you and the suspect Komaeda. Do you think it was a video game when you killed those people? Maybe I am like a video game character in the sense. Somebody reset me. Let me get a game over. When I said that, the tension in the crowd around me reached its peak and burst.
人気なしきちん
殺してやるよ
地獄に落ちる
死刑にしろぶち殺せ殺人鬼
A wave of people crashed towards me. I was caught up in its swell, screams and shouts all around me. I was smashed between the press of people. I found myself picked up off the ground, pressed by bodies from all directions as my feet left the ground. I struggled, but helplessly they struck me in the head, hit me in the arm. But it wasn't enough pain to kill me. Even when they thought I would strangle me, I still didn't resist. I let the chaos have its way with me, and suddenly the pressure disappeared. I fell to the ground. Sedaton slipped from my hand. She rolled along the asphalt. People's legs were all around me, like trees in a forest. My wife was rolling between them. I reached my hand out desperately, but couldn't grab her. Her dazzling smile, the smile that had kept me going, was crushed by someone's leather shoes.
痛いよ
Then someone kicked her tiny body and sent her flying. A woman's red heel came down on her torso, crushing it.
Sarah.
I called out, but there was no answer. My one ally was gone. The sorrow threatened to crush me. Now I had no reason to stay alive at all. I looked up and saw the walls of people had even blocked out the night sky. Nobody noticed I was crouching here. I was right here and nobody saw. I was begging them to kill me and nobody heard. Why was everyone ignoring me? Suddenly, I felt it on my neck. The prickling, the gaze of God.
君は
You. It was in my head.
ここで死んじゃダメだ。
Cannot die here. The voice echoed. I
ディソー
gasped.
ドを
Get the D sword. I clenched my jaw hard.
将軍
I looked for his wheelchair in the forest of legs. I looked for some asshole in a Darth Spider cosplay. So this whole thing was your doing, wasn't it? I should have known. Are you going to show up in that stupid cosplay again and threaten me? Are you trying to make me do the same thing you tried to make me do before? All I want is death. I don't want to be a living freak show anymore.
あの時の自称将軍は
The Shogun you saw
僕
wasn't
じゃ
me.
ない。僕はコス
I
プレは
don't
しないの。
cosplay. I don't care. Just kill me already.
あいつらが動き出してい
They've
る
put their plan into motion.
この場は
Things are
今
about to
以
get
上
even
の混
worse
乱に
here.
なるよ。
They,
すべての黒
the
幕
ones behind all this,
この混
the
乱を
ones who are
引
the
き起こした
cause of all
者たち
this chaos,
混
the
乱を利
ones who
用
are
して
trying to use this
利
head
己を
Noah for
追
their
求
own
しようとす
means.
る者たち彼らを止められるのは
And only one person can
君だ
stop
けな
them.
んだ
You. I sat up. The yelling and screaming was still going on above me. Nobody was looking at me at all. The crowd and the media were all jumbled up now. They were grabbing each other, swearing at each other, hitting each other. What had gotten
沈
into
黙
them?
の兵器
The silent
ノ
weapons.
ア2はすでに稼
Noah
働している
2 is already
この
online.
混乱が起とさ
The
れた一
biggest
番の
goal
目
of
的
all
は
this chaos
無差別人体
was to
実
perform a
験
large-scale, indiscriminate human experiment. Something hard hit my head. It hurt badly. It hurt badly enough that I put my skull had been busted open. Put my hands to my head and pressed hard to dull the pain. I looked around with tear-stained eyes to see a fist-sized rock nearby. There was a bit of blood on it. Someone must have thrown it and hit me. It was an awful, aching pain. When I put my hand on the wound, I felt something wet and slick. My fingertips were stained with blood. My blood. I heard a loud pop in the distance, then a woman's scream. A gunshot? Was someone here with a gun? Why was everyone so excited? Why was everyone so eager to fight somebody they'd never met? Somebody throw a chair? Or was everybody acting so bizarrely? Why weren't they all waiting for me to be the bad guy? The
渋谷の
sacrifice.
G 入れ
Shibuya's G rate, its
Biorhythm.
biorhythms have risen to an impossible level.
言ったでしょ
Like I just said,
無差別
a
人体
large
実
scale,
験
indiscriminate human experiment.
この場にいる人たちは
Everyone here is being
見
subjected
え
to
な
an
い攻撃
invisible
を受け
attack.
ているんだ
I heard the sound. The creaking sound. The rusty sound. Like the last gasp of a dying woman. Sound of a wheelchair's wheels. So many people were scrambling to the square. Walls of people. Waves of people. Roiling and undulating. But as Shogun wheeled forward, no one collided with him. No one tried to stop him. He came right toward me. His body was so small, so frail and thin. He was covered in wrinkles. It looked like his bones might break at the slightest touch. His eyes were cloudy. I couldn't tell what he was looking at, what he was seeing. I couldn't take my eyes off of him. The noise of the crowd around me suddenly became distant.
ずっと
I've been watching
君を
you,
見ていたよ
always. It was the same voice I heard when you first met. It wasn't the strange voice I heard at Ofront.
君は誰なの僕は
I'm you.
君だよ
With those two words, I understood.
僕を妄想
You're the one
し
who
て
created me with
生
your
み出した
delusion.
のも神の自然の正体も君だったんだね
Yes. This man was my creator, the person whose delusion had created me, and someone I would never, ever be able to defeat.
君の名前は西条匠
The real me. The original.
君はいくつなの君と同い年だよ君の設定とね
17 years old. And he was so small and wrinkled.
このままだと世界
The
が死
world's
んじゃ
about
う
to die.
ノア2に
Noah too
あら
will
ゆる
control
人
the
の
hearts
心
of
は支
men
配されちゃ
everywhere.
うだから
That's why I entrusted this to
託した
you. Entrusted what to me?
意味がわかんないよそんなの僕には関係ない頼むよ僕を消して今すぐに消してほしい
The wrinkles on Shogun's face moved. It looked like he was trying to change his expression, but I couldn't tell what it was supposed to be.
全部僕のせいなんだ
It's all my fault.
僕が
I created a
IR2 を
delusion
妄
of
想しちゃったせい
IR2.
でなんとか止めようとしたけど僕はこんな体だから満足に動くこともできないそれで君を生み出した君に止めてもらうためにそんなの知らない僕は君のコピーだけど僕はやりたくないコピーだけが苦しまなくちゃいけないなんてそんなの嫌だ死なせてよ君はコピーじゃないもう一人の僕だつまりコピーじゃないか君のしてることはすごく残酷だ悪かったって思ってるよでも他に方法はなかった今世界の命運は君にかかっていると言っても過言じゃないんだだからそんなのリミに頼めばいい知り合いなんでしょ
You know her. I said those words deliberately. She might have been his girlfriend or his friend. I didn't want to think about either possibility. Then I realized how I felt, even though it was far too late. I was jealous of my original, even though I was just his copy. I was so ugly, so disgusting. What right did I have to be jealous? My feelings made me want to throw up. I felt even more depressed. I just wanted to die. Rimi went to save Nanami and was captured herself. Huh? Rimi was trying to save me, you see.
その理由は
And as for the
君も知っている
reason,
よね。
you know, right?
あれは空。あの空はどうしてあんなに泣きたくなるくらい青い。
それを望んだから。
私は望んでない。
僕が望んだんだ。ここは君の心象世界であると同時に僕の心象世界でもあるから。
Rimi turned to look at me. She seemed confused.
あなた誰？
Who are you? There shouldn't be
こ
anybody
こには
here but me.
私以外はいないはずなのに。あなたは
Are you another me?
別の私。
違うよ。
No.
だったら
Then who are you? How'd you get here?
どうやってここに来たの？私の心の中で
This is my mind.
ずっと
There was only darkness here for such a long time. The only light was a spotlight that fell on me.
私に当たるスポットライトだけ。それなのに
But the minute you came,
あなたが
the
来た途端
darkness
に
vanished.
暗闇が
And
な
the
くなっ
sky
て
appeared.
空ができた。
妄想がシンクロ
Our
したんだ。
delusion synchronized.
君
Your
の
power
力が
was very strong.
とても。
そう。
I see. Rimi looked back up at the sky. An azure sky so clear it looked like you could see forever.
私
I've never
本物の
seen
空
the real sky.
見たこと。私っていう
When this
人格が生
personality
ま
was
れた
born,
時にはね、もう
I was locked up in a dark
暗い部
room.
屋に閉じ込められてた。心の中も
There was nothing but darkness,
外も
both inside and outside my heart.
闇しかなかった。そこからは
They'll never let me out.
絶対に出してもらえないの。私
I was
Ma.
trying to die,
心を
to make my heart commit
自殺
suicide.
させるの。きっと
I'm sure
こ
all
れ
the
までの私
personalities
も
before me did the
そ
same
うして
thing.
きたと思うし、でも
But since you brought me the
せっかく
sky,
あなたが空を持ってきてくれたから、この光景を
is it okay if I remember
記
it
憶に刻んでおい
so
て
that the next me
いい
can
かな。
imagine it?
死にたいの？
Do you want to die?
うん。
Yeah.
本当の空を
You don't want to see the
見て
real
みたい
sky?
か？
ね
Hey,
え、空って
is the sky real?
本当？
あるよ。
It
でも
is.
現実の空は
But the real sky is
この
dirtier
空
than
より
this
も
one.
汚れてる。
どこにある？
Where is it?
あの空は
Where can I find that
どこに
sky?
あるの？
君が望めば
Anywhere if you
どこにで
desire
も。
it.
望んで
Is it okay
い
for
い
me
の？
to want it?
もちろんだよ。
Of course.
どうやって
How do I do it?
望むの？
光は電磁場の波。
Light isn't a electromagnetic
その
wave.
振動現象を
The human eye sees
人
its
の視覚は
vibrations as color.
色として捉えるんだ。自分のデッドスポット
Try
に望む
feeding the
色を
color
当
you
てはめてご
want
らん。
into your own dead spots.
そうすれば
And then
君の望む世界の
you
色を
can make the world any color
作り
you
出せる。
desire.
世界は
The world won't answer
君の
your
望みに
wishes.
応えてくれるよ。
Days, or perhaps months, passed after that meeting. Remy came to my hospital room. She and I were both staying in the same hospital. We both had the same gigalomaniac power. Though whether we should be proud of it or hate it, I didn't know.
お兄、お客さんだよ。ねえねえ、
Hey, who is it? Your girlfriend? When did you get a girlfriend?
誰？やるね。お兄
Nice
ってば
going, big brother.
また
We meet again,
会え
huh?
たね。
She looked so tired. Her skin was sickly pale, her hair was a mess, and far too long. Her nails were cracked, and she kept squinting, like she wasn't used to bright light.
本物の空は
Did you get to see the real sky?
うん。
Yeah.
あ、そうだ。
Oh, right! Nanami had been watching us carefully. She suddenly clapped her hands together like she'd remembered something.
ナナ、お洗濯
I have to go do the laundry. Rimi, was
さ
it?
んでしたっけ？
You two kids have
どうぞ
fun.
ごゆっくり。
Nanami left. Rimi and I watched her go, neither with much emotion. Rimi turned back to
匠
me.
は
How long have you been in the hospital, Takumi?
5年
5 years or so.
退院の予定は？
When are you supposed to leave?
ないよ。
I'm not.
僕の
I'm only gonna live another
あと
2 years or so,
2
I
年ぐらい
think.
だと思うし。
私は
I was able to
あ
try
なた
because of
の
you.
おかげで頑張ることができた。終わりなんて
I thought that there'd never be an end, but I decided to try until I saw the sky you
あなた
taught me
が
about.
教えてくれた空を見るまで頑張ろうと思った。そしたら
And then suddenly, they let me go. It's probably to say they were better done with me, to be honest.
用済みになったって言った方が正しいかもしれないけど、
そう。
私は
You saved
あ
me,
なたに救われたの。だから
so now
今度は
I want
私
to
が
help you.
あなたの力になりたい。
そんなの
You don't need to worry about that.
わざわざ僕に会いに
You
来な
don't
くて
even
いい
need to come see me.
君には
I want you to go live a normal life.
普通の生き方なんて
I don't even know what a normal life is.
わからないから。
Rimi's past, Rimi's feelings, Rimi's resolve. I remember them all, and it made my chest tighten up in pain.
なんでリミは僕に近づいてきたの？
彼女は君の近くにいる
She
こと
was
で
trying to stay by your
君
side,
の行動
to watch over you
君
and
に
the
接
people
触して
around
くる
you,
人間のことを監
and
視
make
して
sure you didn't
君
awaken.
を覚醒させないようにしていたんだ。彼女を恨まないであげる。
Please don't hate her.
彼女は
She's
ただ
just nosy, that's all.
おせっかいなだけなんだ。
There was a sad echo in Shogun's voice.
巻き込みたくなかったの。
I didn't want her to get involved,
彼女は僕
but
が
no
どれ
matter
だけ
how I
本当
tried
に
to stop her,
聞いてくれない。
she wouldn't listen.
勝手に
She felt like she
僕
had
に
some
恩義な
obligation
感
to
じで
me,
本当におせっかい
when
だ。
really, she didn't.
リミとナナミは
Who's holding Rimi and
誰
Nanami?
に捕まってるの？
プロジェクトノアの
The
責
man
任者
behind Project Noah.
すべての
And all
黒
of
幕
this.
ノロ
Genichi
セ健一
Onodose.
かつてリミを捕らえて
He's also the man who kidnapped and tortured Rimi.
それなのにリミは
But she went to face him
ナナミと
anyway,
僕と
alone,
そして
to
君を
save
助ける
you,
ために
me, and Nanami.
あの男のところへたった一人で乗り込んでいっちゃった。
The voice came back into my head. It was Rimi speaking, but she was saying things I'd never heard her say. They were words Shogun had heard.
リミ
Rimi?
うん。
Yeah, it's me.
実は
I have something to tell you,
報告があり
actually.
ます。ナナちゃんを
I'm thinking of going to save Nana.
助けに行こうと思って。
やめるんだ。君はあの男、ノロセと
Never
もう
want
会
to
い
see
た
that
く
man
ないでしょ。
Nodose again, right?
私って
I guess you don't trust me,
そう
huh?
じゃないな。
It'll be
平
fine.
気だってば。昔の話だしね。
It was a long time ago anyway.
そもそも
And between my feelings and saving Nana, it's obvious which one is more important.
させるかなんて決まりきってることだよ。
ナナミを助けるのも
Saving Nanami
Project
and
Noah
stopping
to
Project Noah are my
僕
jobs,
のや
not
るべきことだ
yours.。
君はそこま
Doing
で
a
しな
pretty
くていい
shit job at it. I've been trying not to commentate too much and just get through the. But this nigga has been doing a shit job at it, dude. I understand that you're a cripple and everything, but that is why you should try and get help. You can't do fuck from this hospital room.
言ったでしょ。
I told you, I want to help you.
あなたの力になりたいって。それに
And I don't want to get Taku involved.
関わらせたくないの。
おせっかい。
You really are nosy. Yeah,
そうかもね。
maybe.
あなた
You're the only one to
やっ
ever
たこと
tell me
はない
that,
けど
though.
ね
Hey, can I tell you
え、ちょっ
something?
とだけ語っちゃっていいかな。タクにね。
I said a lot of really mean things to Taku.
ひどいこと言っちゃったんだ。しかも
And the worst
そん
part
なこと
is,
しておいて
and I know this is
すご
really
く自分勝
selfish,
手なん
but
だけど、私
I had a lot of fun when I
彼と
was
一緒
around
に過
him.
ごした時間はとっても楽しかったって思っちゃってるんだ。何もかもが
I mean, it was just lies held together
やら
with
かしてしかなかっ
delusions.
たのに。学生生活
My
も
life at school,
あの学校に
the fact that
私
Taku
や
and
タ
I
ク
were
が通
students
っている
there,
ことも、大地と友
the
達だっ
fact
て
that
いうこと
Daichin
も、
was my friend,
私がタクと
even
一緒
me
にいよう
trying
と
to
したこと
stay
も、
by his side,
タクの存在その
even
もの。
Taku himself.
タクってどう
Taku's
しようも
such a
ないくら
wimp.
い情けなく
He's
て、
so weak and helpless, no
ど
normal
うし
girl
よう
would
もない
ever
くらい
even notice
弱
him.
くて、きっと普通の女だったら見向きもしないような男の子なんだよ。なのに
But for some reason, my heart's telling me I had fun.
楽しかったっていう気持ちがあるの。なのに
For some reason,
私の
my
心
heart's
に
telling me that I wish I could have spent more time
もっ
with
と
him.
一緒にいたかったっていう気持ちがあるの。この気持ちって
What do you think this feeling is?
何なのかな。
インプリンティングのようなもの
Maybe some kind of
か
imprinting.
も。
本能っていうことかな。
Instincts, you mean? That might be kind of romantic in a way.
意外とロマンチックかも。
君が楽しかったなら
If you had fun,
きっと
I'm sure he did
彼も
too.
楽しかったと思うよ。
そうだと
I hope so.
私は
I'm kind of like him in a way.
似たようなものだから。肉体が妄想
Somebody with a body made from delusions,
人格が妄想から
and somebody with a personality made from delusions.
どっちも変わらない。
They're not that different, are they?
だから
That's why I didn't want to erase Taku.
消したくなかった。消さなくちゃダメだっ
I
て
thought that I
思っ
had
てたん
to,
だ
though.
でも
But at some point,
いつの
I
間に
guess
か
I started to feel
感情移入
sympathy
しちゃった
for
み
him.
たい。タクには
I want him to
ごく
live a
普通に
perfectly
暮ら
ordinary
して
life.
いってもらいたいの。私は
I want to save both of you, Takumi and Taku.
助けたい。ねえ、
Please, just leave Taku alone.
そっとしておいてあげて。
そういうわけにはいかな
I
い。
can't. I
No,
need him
what's
to
your
destroy
advice,
Noya
Utami?
too.
彼は必要。
私が何とかす
I'll
るから。
fix this somehow.
君はそんなことしな
You
くて
don't
いい。
have to.
君こそ
If anybody
Look,
should try and lead a
plastic
perfectly ordinary life, it's you. Okay, never mind. He isn't doing a shit job. He would have been doing a good job, I guess, probably maybe if Rimi wasn't here.
さてと、
Okay,
そろそ
I'm
ろ
going to hang up.
リミやめて。
Rimi, don't.
本当に大丈夫
Really,
だっ
it's
て。
fine. You don't need to worry about a
心配
thing.
しないで。
I'm going to put an end to this.
決着をつけてくるから。
Okay?
たくみ。
Takumi. Now far past the point when it could possibly matter. The warmth of Rimi's words filled my heart. She really was nosy. What could drive her to do all this? What could drive her to do so much for another person?
私は
I'm on
タク
your
の味
side.
方だから。
My memories with Rimi came flooding back. We hadn't spent long together at all. There was feelings hidden behind each word she spoke.
私が
I
一緒にいて
will
あげる。
be there for you. For this past year and a half, I hadn't done much but play ESO and H games, along with some real money trading. I spent all day on them, barely ever leaving the base. I almost never went to school. I never tried to talk to anybody. I was alive, but I lived my life like I was dead. This past month or so had been totally different. Even if in the end she'd been lying to me.
朝、一
I'll
緒
go
に
to
学
school
校
with
行
you.
って
She'd been there for me.
学校では
On break, we can talk about
どうでもいい
whatever.
こと話して、
When I'd been afraid, she made me feel better.
お昼休みは
At
一
lunch,
緒に
we
ご飯
can
食べ
eat
て
together. She'd always been there to support a loser like me. She'd been there to make me feel better.
夕方一緒
And
に
then in
帰
the
って
evening, we can go home together. She'd given me a hug and held me in her arms.
帰るついでに
Sometimes we might stop someplace on the way back. I was a delusion, but she taught me about human warmth.
タクの部屋で
Or maybe have a little chat in your
おしゃ
room.
べりして、
She could have erased me, but instead tried to protect me.
それで
And then I'll wave goodbye and I'll see you tomorrow. She'd given me memories.
そんなので
If that's all you need,
私
I can
い
give
くら
it
で
to
も
you.
してあげるよ。
I'd only been alive a year and a half, but I could remember every instant I spent with Remy.
そういうの
I always wanted
い
to
つ
do
も
something
お
like
かげ
that.
なんだ。
The small little gestures she made, the scent of her hair, the sound of her breathing, the sparkle in her eyes, the cheer in her voice, her gentle warmth. Oh, now I understand. I'm in love with Remy. Disgusting. I chuckled at just how disgusting I was. A guy who didn't even exist falling in love with somebody? Could a delusion even fall in love? Or maybe I was just imagining things. I couldn't tell. I wanted to be honest about these feelings. Remy saw me as a friend, not a potential boyfriend, and a creepy loser that wasn't like anywhere near worthy of her. But even if it was just one way, even if it was just for my own self-satisfaction, even if I was just a delusion, I wanted to do something to help someone, to help Remy, before I disappeared. When a creepy otaku falls in love, it's creepy. When a delusion falls in love, it's creepy. But so what? Even if it's creepy, even if it's never going to happen, I didn't want these feelings to be a delusion or my imagination. Our memories of the past month were a shared awareness between me and Remy. Even if everything else was a lie, these memories and all the feelings they created were real.
世界を救ってほ
I
しい。
want you to save the world.
君には本当に悪いと思ってるけど。
I'm
君に
really
やってもら
sorry,
うしか
but
ない
you're really the only one who can.
自分に謝るなんて
You sound
バ
like
カ
it.
みたいだ。
I glared at the real me. The real me stared back at the fake me.
僕は君が嫌いだ。
僕は君が羨
I'm
ましい
jealous
よ。
of you.
僕は世界
I'm
の
not
ため
going
に
to
なん
do a
か
thing
頑張
to
らな
save
い
the。world.
世界を救
I
うと
don't
か、
care what
そん
happens
なこ
to
と
it.
どうでもいい。
I decide for myself the reason I was born.
ただ、
But
僕
I
は
will save Remy.
リミを助ける。
ありがとう。
Thank you. The sounds around me returned. The confusion around me had only increased. At this point, it was a riot. I was surrounded by this. You're fucking kidding, dude. Like a microphone feeding back into
理
itself. It
想
was
で手
everywhere.
に入れる方法
Tell me
を
how
教
to
え
get a
て。
D sword.
君はすでにそれを
You
知っている
already
はずだ
know.
よ。
I looked up, I tried to find the D sword, blended in with the scenery. Flying rocks, tear gas smoke, people colliding all around me. I shut out all of it and searched for the sword I'd seen just an instant on the roof of Ofront. I should be able to see it. I should be there. Part of the scenery blended in. Find it. The D sword is always by your side. Found
見つけ
it.
た。
The building just to the right of 107. There was a colorful vertical sign plastered to its side. Looked to me like the shape of a sword. I gulped nervously. I'd been able to see its shape on the top of Ofront, but I hadn't been able to grab
自
it.
分の意志を強く
Clear
持つ
your
な。
mind.
迷
Keep
っ
it
ちゃダメ
steady
だ
and
からね。
focused.
君にはも
You've more than
う
earned
剣
the
を手
right
に
to
入れ
own
る
the
資格は
sword.
十分にある。
I reached out from where I stood. If I was going to save the person I loved, I needed this sword. I needed it. I bit down on my lower teeth. This wasn't like last time. I was surprised at how calm my heart was. There was no fear. I couldn't let myself be afraid. But I wasn't calm either. There was an emotion burning and boiling up inside of me. There was something I had to do, no matter what.
掴むんだ。
Grab it! I was about 100 meters from the 107. I've moved my hand so that it seemed to overlap with the blade, and clenched. My hand was reaching out into empty open space, but I felt something. It wasn't cold, or hot, or hard, or soft. I slowly pulled it toward me, holding it tight in my hand. Ripples appeared in the air, and out of the ripples it came,